as I'm scrolling through the winter anime list, I'm trying to figure out what new series I really want to try and what would really be worth even checking out this season. Did I stumble upon a gem? That's right. Buddy Daddies, this year's newest and coolest thing in my opinion. I really like this show so far, and it's probably my favorite show so far from the winter anime season. I really enjoy this show, but there's been a lot of comparisons out there to another anime that's been really popular lately, and that is an anime called Spy X Family. So I decided to do the hard job. I decided to get down in the mud, get down and dirty, and possibly get a gun to my head by the anime community, because I'm going to be putting up Buddy Daddies versus Spy X Family to see who's going to be the ultimate victor of this type of series. So who's gonna win? Let's get into the video right now. So before we get into it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot. It lets me know that you guys enjoy this type of content and that you want to see more of this type of content. Leave down in the comments below if you guys have any ideas for any manga, anime, or just Japan related topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video. I would really love that. Comment down below what you guys think is better, Spy X Family or Buddy Daddies. I would really like to know. I'm really interested to know your guys' thought, and maybe what even is your favorite anime of 2023. Anyway guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the video. We're getting into it right now. So we get into them competing. They have 5 separate categories they are competing in, and that is the parents category, the kids category, the art and animation category, the story category, and the moments category. And they're going to be competing in each one separately. We're going to tally their points up, whoever has the most at the end. So there will be a winner. I'm not doing one of those things where they have the videos where they tie at the end and you decide who's next. Epic anime battles in history! There's going to be a definitive winner in this video, and I can't wait to get into this. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be really fun to have these two go up against each other. Will it be closer than I thought? Will it be a blowout for one of the series? I don't know. We're going to find out right now. So to start off, we're going to get into the parents category. With Buddy Daddies, we have Suarei and Kurusu Kazuki. Now, it really depends on what kind of category you're going for this parents category. What are we measuring? Good parents or bad parents? Because if it's bad parenting, this series takes the cake so easily. Within the series, within the first 2 episodes, we end up having this girl, her dad ends up getting murdered in front of her. He lies about it to not tell her that he just killed her father in front of her because they're hitmen and he was actually trafficking different people through trucks and stuff in Japan. Miri shows up out of nowhere one day, ends up just ruining the whole mission that Kazuki had planned, and everything goes really haywire, and she ends up back at their house. Now, this also leads to them having her be left at the house alone, and coming back to her not only having the house completely destroyed and teared up, but her finding an actual gun, and just having fun with that thing, and later on trying to do it again, not learning a lesson apparently, just leaving them with candy that time because somehow that's gonna work out so much better. Later, they end up having her go on another mission because she won't stop crying, only for her to end up in a bullet hell, and somehow every bullet's missing all these 3 main characters conveniently. We know how these things work, but at the same time, Ray's just like gunning down the targets that he's got with like it's nobody's business, super easy. They're in like a wide open field, and these guys, I don't know what's going on, if they have bad depth perception, if the main characters have story plot, it is that one, or like there's some other like random accident that's going on, like maybe their barrels were aimed and like bent the wrong way. I don't know, but all I know is it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. But at the end of the day, I fucking love this show. It is so good. This show is everything it needs to be so entertaining, and these parents and the parent dynamic that they have with Miri is so amazing. Watching Rei and Kazuki have to be roommates and then deal with this whole situation, both lying about who the real dad is, while at the same time trying to figure out how to get it back to the original parent, like the mom, and maybe along the way end up discovering something about each other, because Rei, who seems to have this stone cold expression that is really hiding something underneath at like his heart that is just full of love, man. Like he ends up saving a cat off the street. He's a real nice guy, although he doesn't look like it. And then you have Kazuki, who is your happy-go-lucky, nonchalant guy who is way more responsible than Rei, and he is also hiding something, but this is more of a sad undertone. It seems that either something happened with his wife and kid where either during the pregnancy it was a miscarriage or the wife and kid died somehow. I don't know, but he's very adamant about not bringing people into this kind of world that they're in, the hitman assassination world. So I'm assuming something went wrong with one of the missions and she ends up dying and so does the kid. But I don't know for sure, that we have not seen that far ahead for it. But their dynamics itself as parents are really entertaining. Watching these two go back and forth, watching these two try to figure out what to do with Miri and clearly not having any clue what to do for a parenting style is just really entertaining and really funny to watch these two bumble around and just like tiptoe and trip and make every mistake in like a parent book that would get DCFS getting this kid out of there in like 0.5 seconds if they found out anything about it. On the other hand, you do have on Spy X Family, you have the powerhouse couple of Lloyd and Yor Folger. Lloyd being a spy for the enemy nation, going there, creating a fake family so that he can infiltrate the school and get into his target's area by having this kid befriend his child so he can get in there, still secret, and basically change the tide of the war. And Yor, who is actually an assassin, and they both don't know that each other are what they truly are, and so their dynamic is picking up a telepathic girl who they don't even know is a telepath, and their whole dynamic, which it's kind of funny because both of these are very comedy oriented but in very, very different ways. And Lloyd and Yor have a really interesting dynamic because they are doing this knowingly that it's an arranged marriage where it's more just to benefit each other and what they're doing for their own missions secretly, and they're just kind of going along with it. But it seems like along the way some of them might be catching feelings, passively, maybe not. We'll see how it ends up developing along the way. We get to see how they have to raid Anya, but unlike Buddy Daddies where they're not even like trying to be parents or whatever, they're trying just to get this kid off their hands so far, Spy X Family, they're trying to raise Anya as their kid because otherwise the mission's going to go awry, so they have to pretend to be father and mother to this child and actually raise it in a certain way. So they're actually trying to raise Anya in proper ways, parenting, teaching, and just raising a kid up properly with all the funny dynamics that a hitman and spy kind of dynamic has going on underneath. Now, their aspects as parents are, again, they just seem like more real parents, but like not really knowing what they're doing. And they really are developing really well throughout the story as they learn to become better parents for Anya, which is also developing themselves. And they have a lot of good progression going on throughout the story. I've really loved watching them go from where they've started and watching them go down the path that they're currently going down. It's really entertaining, and they're progressed and turned in a way I guess can only be the most realistic way a spy and a secret assassin dynamic can go. So it pans out pretty well, and this series does such an amazing job at letting these two develop and parent properly. And I'm gonna have to be honest, yes, the better option for parents is Spy X Family. I can't do anything about it. I can't. I'm sorry. Like, they are better parents overall. I love the dynamic between Ray and Kazuki, but if I'm going off of parents as a whole, I mean, Lloyd and Yor are just the supreme version. It was really close for me because they're both very different, and so it's very hard for me to choose one or the other. But if I have to go for more of an objective pick, it's going to be Lloyd and Yor. Anyway, let's get on to the next category, the kids. Now for the kids category, we're going to start with Spy X Family this time with Anya, who is a telepath. As I said earlier, she can read people's minds, and this is a really cool dynamic because she's the only one who truly knows what's going on with this family, and she's desperately trying to keep them together because she loves both of them and wants to have a family herself because she is actually an orphan. And Anya is a really interesting character that I've never really truly seen as a kid character in anime, manga, movies, or books. Or it's a really unique character. She is like the heart and life and the bubbly feeling inside your chest for this series. She is such an amazing character. I love watching her do the things she does. She's so funny, the things and interactions that she ends up getting in, and the crazy circumstances she gets, because she may be a telepath, but she's still a child. And it's really fun to watch her do what she does because it's Anya being Anya, and there's like not enough you can get. Must protect at all costs type character. Now, for Buddy Daddies, we actually have Miri, who is just your normal run-of-the-mill 4-year-old who has just like this really overly positive personality, really happy, really heartwarming, and really just like fluffy personality, and just like walks in the room and you'd be like, oh, everything's good now. It's really entertaining to watch her just be this positive vibe in this series that is really dark, and sometimes it can get it's a little gory. It's not like over the top, but I mean, they are shooting people in the face a lot, and like watching her as this dynamic of as when they go into missions and stuff like that, as we saw in the second mission, she ends up having to go to the bathroom and ends up breaking into the house that they're in the house trying to kill the target. She just goes in there because she has to pee so bad and ends up blowing up the entire mission. It's so entertaining and so funny. I absolutely adore it. She's so funny to watch her do what she does because she is just an absolute chaotic element within these two lives. And it really is like the definition of turning their world upside down. She is such a great child character. But again, I'm going to have to be honest. As great as Miri is and as good as a child character she is, it's not something that hasn't been done before. I mean, Sweetness and Lightning, she feels like a very similar character to that. Anya is such a unique and memorable character that I cannot give Miri the win over Anya. So yeah, it is 2-0 right now for Spy X Family. Can Buddy Daddies turn it around with our next category, the art and animation category? Now it is time for a possible comeback between Buddy Daddies to Spy X Family. They're down for the count, but that does not mean they're out of the fight. So let's get into it right now. We're going to start with Spy X Family again this time, and their setting and art is really good. They have really great fight scenes. They have really crazy over-the-top moments. I love watching these two do as they do, and again, part of this of my knowledge for this is going to be coming from the manga because I did read the manga first. I have seen some of the anime, so I know both sides of it, and a lot of it's going to be coming more from the manga side for this because it's just where I read it. I'm a manga guy. I gotta be honest with you. This is my disclaimer for the video. I did read Spy X Family more farther ahead, so I'm going more internally with my thoughts for that. And Spy X Family does such a great job with the animation in the anime and also the art in the manga. It's such a great, descriptive, and amazing looking series. There's such cool characters. All the characters look really interesting and very different. I really like how it is. It's in a really European-esque era, upper high-class echelon stuff. And on the other hand, you have Buddy Daddies, which is more like over-the-top Tokyo action, Yakuza, jazzy night vibes, and I really freaking love the Buddy Daddies feel of the series. I can't get over it. You hit me with a jazz opening, and I'm like, oh, come on, it's all over now. What am I supposed to do? Like, this series, like, the way it goes between scenes, it has, like, this block over there, and it really feels like a Cowboy Bebop-esque like soundtrack, and it really does everything it needs to for the music and the look aspect. It is a really clean anime. I am not gonna lie, this series is freaking smooth. Like, all the animation is really, really good. I believe it's done by PA Works, and they are a fantastic studio, so it makes sense. But man, this series looks so nice, and I just can't get over like the Tokyo night vibe. It really is like a Tokyo underworld with a neon glow to it. Is my best way to describe it. There's a lot of dark and gritty elements in it, but it's really put in this like over the top, shiny, like bright look to it, and it really goes really well together. They pair super well together, and I know this isn't the soundtrack thing too, but like if we compare the soundtrack to Spy X Family and Buddy Daddies, personally, I'm gonna go Buddy Daddies. I freaking love their soundtrack. Like, it is one of my favorite soundtracks that I've heard in a while. It blows me out of the water. I freaking love that thing, and the art and animation are so clean between both of these, and Buddy Daddies being only an anime, it's an original, there's not based on anything, it's made by PA Works themselves. It is really an amazing series overall for how it looks and how it feels. This art and animation accompanies it so well, and yes, the characters are like that anime looking thing, but if we're going to Spy X Family and we're going like parents to parents and kid to kid, Anya looks more unique than Miri. But the parents for Buddy Daddies look more unique than Spy X Family, in my opinion. I think they, Kazuki is that general, like, he's the funny character that has that same look that you've seen before. It reminds me a little bit of that Great Pretender series that came out on Netflix. And Spy X Family, Yor looks like the basic every anime character. It doesn't look like there's any uniqueness to him. Lloyd, on the other hand, does have a little bit of uniqueness to him, but at the same time, he does feel bland too. And Ray looks like that little bit of a typical, like, darker looking character, more serious and gritty. A little bit of Levi-esque from Attack on Titan. But if I'm going overall by, like, what I've liked for the series and everything as a whole, for the art and animation, I'm going to go with Buddy Daddies. That's right. They make a comeback. It's now 2-1. Let's see if they could keep the thing rolling with our next category, the story. Now, I briefly covered the story throughout this entire video so far, so we're going to get into Buddy Daddies. And like I said earlier in the video, Miri is trying to find her father. She ends up going to a big party where her father is at to finally meet him. And what ends up happening is Kazuki and Rei are also on a mission to assassinate her father at the same event. They end up crossing paths, and during this event, Miri ends up on the stage trying to find her dad, and her dad, her real dad, ends up picking her up and holding her as a hostage, not knowing it's his daughter. What happens is Kazuki lies to her and says to Miri that he is her real father. And this ends up with them killing her real dad and taking her in, and with this lie, now thinking that Kazuki is her real father. And that's how the series kind of develops, and now they have to figure out how to get Miri back to her mom, who pawned her off because he was having an affair with this woman who didn't want to raise the daughter anymore, the real dad. And so they sent her to her real dad to raise her, now ending up in Kazuki's hands. So they end up having to go on missions and stuff, and also balance the life of an assassin hitman, while also trying to figure out how to be parents and find the original mom, who they are not sure really where she's at the moment. Now, on the other hand, you have Spy X Family with Lloyd being a part of this tension building civil war that's going on between, not civil war, but war going on between two nations. And he's a spy that has been sent to the enemy nation to find the secrets for a higher up official who has a ton of documents that can change the tide of the entire war. So what he's tasked to do is create a fake family, infiltrate himself inside the school, have the daughter get close to the son of the guy who they're trying to get the information from. And what he ends up doing is he finds Anya and Yor, who he makes a fake family with, and they have to go with all of them hiding their secret so none of them find out, all while knowing that they're a fake family. If they get caught, it will blow up all of their things in their faces right away, and everything's gonna go really, really bad. It's hard for me to truly pick which one is better because while they're so similar, they're also so very different in how they're going. Buddy Daddies is a real big focus on comedy, and there is an underlying tone of some more serious stuff going on with Kazuki. I don't know really anything about Ray right now. On the other hand, it seems like Lloyd is battling why he got into this job, what he's doing this for, why he's doing it, and remembering that. Yor is trying to move on, protect her brother, and just live her life as normal as possible, while Anya is just trying to have a family herself. And Miri, on the other hand, for Buddy Daddies, is just trying to, live life with her father she's never got to meet. And she's just a clueless girl who's trying to live her life. And there's something really nice about Miri not being a know-it-all like Anya, in the sense of, like, not knowing that her father isn't who her father is, and just being more clueless to the whole situation, because it adds a little bit of tension for what they're going to do to handle that, with Anya obviously knowing she's covering it up, which is a complete 180 on what you'd expect the thing to be, which is definitely more of a twist in what you would see in Buddy Daddies. But overall, these stories for Buddy Daddies is kind of like go on mission, take care of daughter, find out how to balance both these things. Spy X Family is infiltrate, find all these secrets, cover up the family, cover up the lies that you have, don't let anyone find out, and it feels like definitely more of a real spy action thriller series than more of a comedy spy series like Buddy Daddies. So if we're going with stories overall better, it is a clear winner to me that it is Spy X Family. It is an amazing series. It does everything it needs to be just such a unique and different series that I've never, ever, ever seen before in anime and manga, and I don't think it was going to be going away anytime soon. This is going to be a series that's going to be remembered for a long time, and it's going to be unique for a long time, as long as the creator keeps doing what he's doing. And it's a great series overall. Some of the best writing I've ever seen in anime ever. And so I'm giving it to Spy X Family. We do have one more category. We're going to get into the moments category. For the moments category, what I mean by this is the things that we all remember. What are we going to be going home with, crying about in our beds at night, feeling the life that we've never felt in 35 years of an empty and desolate life, and what's gonna make us continue to watch these series? Now, Buddy Daddies does have some pretty interesting moments and some pretty interesting setups, and it's kind of hard to compare these two for the moments category. Buddy Daddies is so new and fresh, and Spy X Family is just such an established series right now, and it has a lot more time that it had to run for this, because we're only like 2 episodes in to Buddy Daddies, and I'm gonna upload this on episode 3, so hopefully we'll see what happens. 3 or 4, I'm not promising anything, but Spy X Family has such a more established storyline to go off of, and so many more times for moments to happen. And Buddy Daddies has had its moments so far with, I think, a lot of them are the comedy things for me, because there's been so many times that this series has made me laugh out loud and just have so many moments that are so over the top and funny. You really gotta turn your brain off of this series. It is the equivalent of, like, the less you pay attention to, like, how accurate this series is to real life, the better, because it is so funny with some of the things that go on. Like I'm talking about where they're ending up in a bullet hell, and somehow every bullet missed these guys when they're in an open field, and everyone is, like, basically Civil War style lined up with muskets and just firing at these guys, like just unloading on these guys, and not a single shot is hitting any of them, where they have no protection or anything, but Ray's just standing there in the middle of the field, just down with people like they're nothing. And it's just really funny for that kind of stuff. And also just like watching these characters see where they could be set up with, like Miri is just such like the equivalent of like the like heartwarming, like, oh man, like you just makes you smile when she does what she does, and it's really funny to watch her do what she does, like just be a little kid. It's really funny, and she's a really fun character to just watch bumble around and just screw up stuff and be chaotic and just really cause so many crazy things to happen within this series. Well, Spy X Family, on the other hand, not only has the funny moments, but it also has the moments that really hits you in that heart that you didn't know could feel for like the last like 10 years or something like that. It melts all that ice that's there, and it really breaks you down sometimes with some really emotional moments, some really epic moments, some over-the-top moments. Like the scenes that we get to watch and read in Spy X Family are something that you don't forget after reading. You end up seeing with things like getting the dog, or the tennis match, which is one of my favorite things. I love the tennis match. It's so entertaining. Plenty of the other things that end up going on while Anya's trying to infiltrate herself into the school and also weasel her way to be a friend to Damien. And it is really epic to watch these characters do what they do, because you never really think they're going to step it up, but each time that I've read a chapter in the series, and once the storylines really get going, because sometimes Spy X Family gets like these chapters where they're just kind of showing family life and stuff like that, which is good because you kind of need that dynamic to see how the family's actually progressing rather than just spy action stuff all the time. But when they actually get that story rolling and you get to watch them go on an actual arc, it is something different. Like it is something that pulls you in, and you just keep going until the end, and you just can't put it down or can't stop watching until you get to the end of that series. And overall, as you can see, I am gushing, and you guys can probably tell which one's better, just because it's really hard to say Buddy Daddies would be better in the moments category than a series that has so many memorable moments and so many crazy things that happen inside of it, such as Spy X Family. So yes, Spy X Family wins. And I'm sure probably a lot of you guys could have guessed that Spy X Family is going to win this category. It was just really funny going through these series and listening to stuff about the anime season and hearing people talk about it, how these two series kept getting compared as like being like, oh, it's Spy Family now, because like that's the new thing. And there's a lot of spy stuff coming out now. Ever since Spy Family came out, maybe it has a chance to, we're gonna get like 5,000 different spy things now instead of getting all these isekais. What we're actually gonna end up getting now is a spy isekai, and that's going to be the new thing. It's just really fun to compare these two series, because both these series are really good in their own rights, but there's something different in Spy X Family that is just void in Buddy Daddies. There is a different kind of emotional connection and storyline that Spy X Family has that Buddy Daddies really hasn't gotten into or shown that they're really going to be further developing. It seems like it's going to be more like a wacky, fun adventure time. It's going to be a lot more of a heavy focus on comedy than also being able to get in those serious moments. While there is a little bit of that with seeing Kazuki's past, overall there's not really a ton so far to make me have that hope that Spy X Family has like different kind of feeling inside of it, with watching this family go, falling in love with this family, watching them progress, wanting their secret to be kept, knowing why this war is developing and why Lloyd is on the right side, but also getting to see that the other side is also maybe got some more going on with that, seeing how Yor's brother is actually part of the enemy army, and it's really crazy to watch all these characters have to bounce around each other and all hide their true identities. It's amazing. Freaking love that series. It's just unique on a different level and something I've really never seen in anime and manga. And yes, it is a better series than Buddy Daddies. But do you guys disagree with me? You guys agree with me? What do you guys think about my opinions? Am I right or wrong? Did I miss anything? Is there anything that you guys would like to add? Thank you guys so much for watching, though. It means a lot. It is everything to me that you guys decide to watch these videos. It means the entire world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in another video.